There it is.
La-dee-da-dee-da-dee-da. The cuffs are off, man. Get right. Too many left.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
Hey fans, this is AJ Dillon of the Green Bay Packers.
I got to give a shout out to y'all at Get Right Fantasy.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league? If you want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season,
check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Best of luck with your podcast. Appreciate the support.
Get you right. Enjoy the show.
And I'm getting down cause I run my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I run my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I run my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I get.
What up? What up? What up, y'all? We are back. It is the Friday night mocks. Let me just do this real quick because I don't know why I started with the thing up, but what up, everybody? It is Friday night. We have our special guest in the house today. We have Cody Magoats himself from the Sweet Life podcast. Oh, I'm loving that hat, my friend.
I realized I was wearing it. I had a,
I love it, man. Very cool. And it makes me feel good because I made that logo, so it makes me feel great seeing that thing.
You did indeed, Mike.
I did. So how's everything? How's everyone doing?
I said, Mike, I need a logo. Within 2 minutes, he sent like 8 photos back to me.
Yeah, and I'm like, pick one. He's like, this one's perfect.
Yeah,
I love it.
We like it. We like it.
Didn't take long. Didn't take long at all.
Hey, Cody, first stream with you, man. Let's do it, man. I feel like we've been ships passing in the night with the brands and whatnot. Glad to get in the streets with you, man. This should be a good one.
I had to get on. It's been far too long. Far too long.
Oh,
And yeah, Kendall,
man.
yours and I's first one on together.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm down. I think we got some new friendly faces.
Oh yeah.
Faces. Wow, I think the vodka's already hitting me a little bit. Hey, Alec, what's happening, man? Glad to have you here.
Sir.
Appreciate you. Look at that.
Oh yeah.
You know, if you're gonna have the first comment, we're gonna show it, man. I appreciate it.
He is Philadelphia at the 109.
Alex is Philadelphia. All right, you got to remind me of these things, guys. Definitely remind us too. I'm already doing the between the Discord name and
yeah, we got so many different names to go from.
It's all good. Should we do some drafting, boys?
Oh, I'm ready, brother. I am ready. Let's get this thing up and ready to go. I think everyone else is waiting for us as well. So I'm going to let everybody know now that we are going.
Yeah, for those watching later on, Dynasty SuperFlex startup, pretty standard, pretty chalky. Most common, we're doing a start 9, 2 RB, 3 wide receiver, double flex tight end, all really, really standard stuff. 12 team. 3 we did a 3x random, and I'm starting off at the 101. We're only going to go through 8 bench spots. Normally we'd go way deeper in Dynasty, but for the sake of the video and you guys not watching a full marathon, we'll get some later videos later on. So cutting the bench a little bit short. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. So as Kendall gets us going, he luckily gets the 101 here. Don't forget to turn off your notifications at the top. We also wait, or is that me? That's me. I'm the one.
I had to make my pick while you were doing the spiel just to test you. I
I needed it because I wasn't sure for a moment who it was. We got. Oh, it already fell to me. Oh, who am I going here? Well, it's not hard to guess. If you let in any way, shape, or form within the first, if I am in the first 6 picks.
All right. I thought I was going to break up the
Jace
around here. I've done a couple drafts so far, and I think I'm going to switch up my strategy here a little bit. Dynasty, get a little half point extra for a tight end reception. Why not?
That's the earliest I've seen
Ooh.
Bowers at the 106. I didn't know in our last draft, just to
Yeah,
kind of
he
change
went
it.
a little
I was thinking I was the 110 or something, and I took Bowers because I hadn't done a lot of like hardcore, no autos, good drafters. What does a Bowers build early look like? I didn't hate it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I definitely didn't hate it.
It's my first one this year going Bowers round 1. So we're gonna see what happens.
And Jay Will just said in the chat that he almost went Bowers at the 105. So that is
Yeah, I mean, I was pretty locked in on Jamar Chase, but Chase got
Nice.
picked. So
I mean, I think you got to get to full tight end premium before you get above Chase, but that's interesting. I'd be kind of curious there.
yeah, I'm pretty much if this is a SuperFlex Dynasty startup, you will not see Burrow get past. If I'm in the top 6, I don't see him getting past that for me. He'll pretty much be my pick 9 times out of 10 in that spot.
yeah, I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, I honestly, for me, he's just so consistent to the point where I don't want anybody else. I just want him, and I can pretty much build off of that. Kendall going with the very spicy pick of Jaden Daniels at the 101.
I mean,
Ooh.
but it's also me, I mean,
Yeah.
he's the profile. He's under the age 25, so he's allowed to be on my team. And Allen is almost 30, so he's actually dead to me. I cannot possibly draft him.
Yeah. So I have a question for you guys. So we were
CD
just
Lamb at the 2-3. Oh my God.
we were just talking about Bowers and and of course Cody took him. So I'm gonna throw this to Kendall. Do you think in any way, shape, or form he falls off this year?
No, I don't. And I do mean that in any way, shape, or form. I don't think he falls off. I'm not saying it's not a possibility. You'll often hear me in my takes talk about range of outcomes. It's how I evaluate players. It's how I evaluate trades. It's where I'll go away from the trade calculators if I think they are focusing in on a 1.5, 2 year window instead of 3 years, right? If they're just not looking at the holistic range of outcomes, right? So I can list a range of guys and for that. But with Jaden specifically, I think his rushing might change a little bit. He actually might rush a little bit less, but he has more interesting weapons. I do think that he's probably going to throw the ball to a few more people. I think McLaurin, if anything, is going to have a rougher year. Like some people think DJ Moore might have the ball spread around a little bit. But I really, really like the additions on the team. I like anyone who has a veteran tight end in general. If you look at quarterbacks who have a really solid go-to tight end, they almost never have a bad year. And I think Jaden early on, I'm looking at how often was he running because he was running away? That's more of a field stake. No, it was because it was much more like Hurts, where Hurts will sometimes just do that. I can just go get 10 real quick and let's just run another play. Just looking at it like I'm gonna gain the first down here. It's not hero ball. It was just really smart play. So I liked what I saw from him with much vastly greater than what I liked from Kyler's rookie year, where I thought Kyler was making a bad situation better. And I think Jaden was taking a situation where they were fine being a bad team and they decided they were going to be a good team though. He took it there. So no, I think he's going to be much better. I think his touchdowns are actually going to go up while his rushing comes down a little bit. And I have him firmly inside my top 5 for most range of outcomes.
Okay. All right. So we got in the chat here that Victorious getting on Cody there for his lad pick. Why are we going McConkey here?
Well, I mean, we saw what happened towards, the second half of last year. He really came on. And if we're playing PPR, they drafted Trey Harris. But I don't think he's necessarily going to take away many targets that McConkey saw towards the second half of last year. Plus, we saw that playoff game where I think he had 10 catches, 100 whatever yards. Realistically, I probably would have, if this was a real Dynasty startup, I probably would have went Nico Collins there. But for the fun of it, switching up, and I don't know. I like McConkey. I'm high on McConkey this year.
Yeah,
personally, I don't think that's high. I understand why some may think so, but
okay.
Cody, you think this is fair? I don't. I think it's early, but it's only because it's before BTJ.
Yeah.
So I was stuck
Yeah,
on
that's-
BTJ too. However, Mike may know this from talking past couple years. I'm not a big Trevor Lawrence guy,
Yeah.
and you have a new Travis Hunter's in town now too, and with draft capital and the status that comes with Travis Hunter, I think Thomas is more. I see Thomas being more prone to target regression than Lad McConkey.
Okay.
That's my take. Again, it's May 30th.
Yeah, no, we got
Thoughts could
plenty
be
of time.
totally different come June 10th. So
Yeah, I mean, I can almost see what you're talking about in a way. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, new coaching staff with with Liam, and it's going to be an interesting situation there. They got rid of Evan Ingram, who was a big part of their system prior to, and now they're in it's a whole different system now. So it's really interesting to see what's going to happen with the Jaguars as a whole. The Chargers, though, they are turning more towards a run-based team, but he will get plenty, and he is clearly the lead man, the lead receiver for that group. So it will be very interesting. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to steal your stack.
That's why I didn't take Herbert, by the way.
I'm sorry. It was, to be fair, I was
trying to sit here quiet and not say
Oh,
anything.
no, I knew. But here's the thing. I was going to take him at the 2-9, and I was happy that he fell to the 3-4. So I was sitting here like, oh, is it going to happen? And I'm like, you know what? Why not? I usually...
So I had a plan here, and I was trying not to give myself away.
Yeah.
Yeah, call the police, honestly. All right, Mike, we don't stream for probably almost 2 years, and this is what you got to do to me.
I'm sorry. I had to do it. It happens. Right. And, Rafi goes, almost went neighbors, and BTJ duo would, 100% have gone St. Brown if he fell. Yeah. No, I understand that.
All right now.
Hey, what do you guys think of this question for you? So I've just been splitting my exposures. Like if it was a really high stakes, like ask me if I put $1,000 on the draft, like what would I do? I'm really going to dial in and give that take. But between Caleb, Herbs and Spices, May and Nix, I'm May over Nix, so I'm just going to leave Nix out of the conversation. Between Caleb, Herb, and May, I've just been spreading my exposures around a little bit, and honestly kind of going with where I'm at in the draft, where I think I can probably pick up the stack. But I kind of have them all in a mixed tier. But I'm the Bears guy in this Friday night draft, so I'm going to take Caleb more often than not to force people.
You have never not taken Caleb.
So what do you guys think though? Like what would you do between those three? Where are you pick? If you had to take one, take the positional players out. What do you like from that mix of QBs? Or a fair answer, if they're all kind of there, do you actually see them as a tier break above the next group and is worth it? Or are you liking the positional value? Because we did pass up on. For me, it passed up on Marv. It would be passing up Bucky, HN, Marv, essentially.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Williams, Herbert, and May.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's tough. As a Packer fan, I obviously want to stay away from Williams. But I can't lie. I think he's in a good situation this year. They're all close to me. I've been a May truther. So it might be a pride pick, but I'd probably go Drake May.
Maybe we're not going to be enemies, man. I thought I was the only Drake May fan out there.
Wow, see, I'm a truther. I think if he cuts down on some of the turnovers from last year and makes now he's going to have a better head coach and his line's improved. So I think he just gets better.
Yeah. I do. I see big things for the Bears this year there, Kendall. So I know that you're waiting and anxious to see what they do. And honestly, I think that they did a really good job in free agency and in the offseason to get a lot of weapons, and a lot of just general things that they needed. They needed an O-line. They needed, the wide receiver. They needed to. The one thing that I'm surprised they didn't go for is the running back, where they, where I thought maybe they would go. They kept Swift. They're happy with him. They're happy with Roshan in there, and they built the lineup to protect Caleb, which was the one thing that he really had an issue with was, staying upright. And honestly, given if he had time, he did pretty well considering. And they might even bring back Keenan Allen at one point. We'll see.
Don't do that to my Rome shares, man.
Yeah, I know. That's
Keenan
my
looked
point.
kind of washed last year, honestly. Though I don't want Keenan. I think we would have. The
No,
plan would have been to maybe bring Keenan back, but if he had it on the field, I think we'd keep him. I really do think we would have kept him. We wouldn't have drafted.
He'll go to San Francisco. He'll go to San Francisco because they'll need him a little more with the news about Ricky Purcell not being ready till training camp.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where he might go there, or he might go to a different scenario. So no, I don't think he'll go there. But I
really like May though, man. Cody, that take on May, dude. I don't think May gets enough love in mocks. No one ever really talks about him. He's always talked about as would you consider May here? And then it's like, oh, he was such a value, so I took him. Right? There's very rarely people are smashing the May button. I'm pretty close to it. I forget who it was. Maybe one of you guys know. I think it was. It might have been Fantasy Football Today. I don't want to say the wrong guys, but they were really. It might have been PFF actually. They were going through clutch throw rates, and Drake May was leading the league. It was absolutely insane. I'm like, he had passed the eye test too. He really was, and had a lot of Justin Herbert magic. I kind of like seeing that in a rookie. That kind of eye of the tiger can get it done.
He had a pretty solid, consistent, he wasn't going out of control. 20, he went 21, 20, 11, 17, 12, 19, 14, 20, and then a couple of 18, point weeks. So, I mean, he didn't go out of his mind, but he played pretty well considering. And at that point, he honestly, he could do well if they have the right offense. And to be fair, they drafted a guy like Henderson to give, a little more weapons to him. They still have Stevenson who can still run the ball well. They built up their defense a little bit. And Vrabel, he, if anything, is a good coach that can really coach these guys up and be able to get him to do a little bit better. So honestly, I do see it. I thought he played pretty well. He was always in the draft process. He was always viewed as the one guy out of the group that was, just raw talent that can do very well in the league. So I do see May to a point. I'm more of a Herbert guy out of all those three. It's Herbert to me. I've seen more of, so of course I'm going to feel that way. Yeah, he's a little older. So May wise, if I'm starting a dynasty startup, I might go May over Herbert in a way, but I like Herbert as a whole. I like watching him play. I like the team that's built around him. I like just the general facade of him. I watched him in Hard Knocks, and I remember him taking over for Tyrod Taylor, and I remember watching him just throw dimes, just and from miles away, and he definitely won the eye test for me, and I've been stuck on him for too long. I want him everywhere.
No, I mean, he's a stud for sure. I'm not. Yeah, can't take that away.
Do you guys feel that Stroud is in that same tier?
So I'm kind of scared on Stroud this year, only because their offensive line was one of the league's worst, and then they got rid of their best offensive lineman.
Yeah, I didn't understand
they addressed it in the draft, but until I see it, I don't know. If I cannot take Stroud, I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's fair. What about you?
Why draft Stroud when you can trade for him at a discount? That's my thing. Now, I will draft Stroud if he does kind of, in this particular case, when you're getting him at the 410, that feels pretty nuts. Like I would have absolutely smashed. I was looked for him when I was on the clock, actually, and I would have smashed him at 410. I can't do the thing where I take 5 quarterbacks every draft and punish the other folks. If it was a real league, I'd probably have 5 quarterbacks at this point. And I do think Purdy at Den Boys, by the way, Purdy's a gift to you. Purdy should have been my 5-1 100%, but I can't do the take all the quarterbacks when they're the most valuable player left.
See,
man, 410 sounds like great value for.
I was going to say that he got crazy value for the concept of getting Collins and Stroud as his stack, and we'll be the first to tell you guys, for those that are new to Dynasty, stacks aren't necessary. They're good to have in some scenarios. It's just finding the right combination that goes well, that you can pretty much, bank on. Guys like, with Burrow and Chase, you're never going to get it in this type of scenario. But getting a combo like Stroud and Collins, getting another one was, Hurts and AJ Brown. That's a short-lived one because we don't know what's going to happen with AJ Brown moving forward. He might want to leave at one point. Jay Will could get the Trevor Lawrence BTJ stack. Like, there's so many different ones. Yeah, the Williams and a Dunze stack like Kendall got.
It's a good point because I would definitely not. I reached for Rome there specifically because it is a risk reward stack, right? Yeah. It is absolutely a Caleb could have big question marks, which will absolutely bury Rome. Like, normally I don't do all my drafts this way where I'm like, I'm leaning into a lot of, when you have the 101, why lean into a bunch of risk when I already get to start with Jaden Daniels and sort of a pick order win? Part of it's Friday night mocks, right? But at the same time, there's also the fantasy is just too top heavy. So it just like in best ball, you're going to draft 1 million teams and all of them are going to lose except for that Magic team. I don't want to get third ever. I either want to win or I want to lose hard because I either want the 101, 102 or I want to beat everybody. And
same.
The sort of stacking is worth it when you're going all in or all out. Like, if you could stack and know, like, hey, if it goes bad, it's going to go terribly. That's not awful too. I mean, that is actually awful. But if it goes bad, don't go mediocre bad. Go all in or all out. So that's why.
So here's a question for you, being the good old Bears fan that you are, and it's great that I have two guys from the NFC North here.
We haven't started yelling at each other yet.
Yeah, we're hammered by noon. It's no problem.
Oh, that's the one thing you guys can agree on and do well at. So my question to you is, in this particular case, you have Odunze, and then you guys just drafted Burden. How do you feel about Burden being a part of that particular offense, and do you think that he takes away anything from Odunze in any way, shape, or form?
No, not even a little bit. They play totally different positions on the field. No one is taking snap time away from the other guy, right? I mean, that's why it made good sense. If I love DJ Moore, but he is the savvy veteran that's done pretty well despite honestly terrible situations. Like, even his quarterbacks had terrible situations. You can't even say like, oh, he hates his quarterback. It's like he hates that his quarterback also has a bad coach. Like, he's just like, he's the youngest like NFL dad out there. I think DJ Morris. He's just been through some stuff, right? I think DJ's there he's a good locker room guy. He deserves to have a hell of a big year, and I think Ben will see to that. But he's also going to transition, and they'll probably make sure he gets another contract elsewhere. They're gonna help him out with that. It's really going to be Rome and Luther's team down the line. And why am I not worried? Look, one of them is absolutely going to carve it up close to the line of scrimmage, and then is going to burn on some deep routes in the same way that like Worthy can do some slants and some deep ball stuff. I think with savvy play calling, Burden can absolutely do that. But Rome's still the guy that's running a back shoulder fade every time they're in the red zone in an Evans sort of way. When the play's breaking down and Caleb can bootleg out and make something happen, Rome is a very high IQ wide receiver that's going to make that play happen. And if it's a 50-50 ball situation, there's not many guys out there that have the body control like Rome does. He's got a little bit of Marv in there where he can kind of make some things happen. If you saw in week 3 of last year when Keenan was out, you saw a couple of deep balls to Rome that were underthrown. And he still came up with them, and I saw everything I needed to see in week 3, and I'm not worried about Burden at all. If he was a different type of player, let's have a conversation about it, right? If it was Jaden Higgins, we'd be having a different conversation here, right? But it wasn't. So
okay, no, and I'll actually, I mean, Cody kind of stayed on his brand here.
There, 6'2", love it.
Well, he right now stayed on brand and went with his good old Packers and went with the other wide receiver that was drafted pretty early. And I was going to ask a little bit more about the Packers scenario. I mean, you guys have a very unique situation. I remember last year, the biggest question was, who's the wide receiver one for the Packers? And then everybody would say they don't have a bunch of wide receiver ones. They have a bunch of wide receivers. Now that you guys picked up Golden the way, where you did and how you did, is he their number one, or is there someone else in that wide receiver room that can step up and be that number one?
I mean, I think week 1, he probably doesn't start as receiver one, but I think by the end of the year, it's going to be pretty clear cut that Golden's the guy.
Okay.
I don't know if we necessarily talked about this, but Jack, my cohort over at Sweet Life, going into this past season, I said Green Bay, if they are going to dress receiver, maybe go get a veteran guy to teach these young guys.
Yeah.
They didn't, but I was okay with it. I didn't think we really needed one. I thought, let's see another year out of Romeo. Let's see another year out of Jaden Reed. Let's see what we have, because prior to this past season, 2 seasons ago, we saw flashes of potential out of all of our receivers. Well, not all of them, but like
most
top 4,
yeah.
we'll say.
And then
we roll into last year and we lead the league in drops. So that my tone definitely changed from, let's not address this receiver room, we're okay, to we need to address this receiver room ASAP.
Okay.
I'm very happy we did. First time in 22 years. So for Green Bay to go draft a receiver in the first round, finally, either they also noticed that we may have a problem in our receiver room, or they really like Golden. And like I said, by the end of this season, he will be the receiver one and, kind of take over that receiver room.
So here's my question for you. You have a very, you guys have a, you guys are pretty deep comparatively to other teams at wide receiver. You got, you got your Watson, you got, Romeo Dobbs, you got Jalen Reed, you now have Golden, you have Dontavian Wicks. Like, you guys have a pretty, good group of wide receivers. How would you rate the wide receiver room? If you were the one rating that particular room, who's your 1 all the way to 5?
Like, who do I like most, or how do I think?
Yeah, I'm going on you.
Falls?
No, I'm talking about you. How are they ranking to you?
So obviously, I'm excited about Golden. So I kind of want to put at 1, but I'm not going to yet, just because I haven't really seen much out of him.
Yeah, fair enough.
Number 1, I gotta say Romeo Dobbs. He's just been the most consistent guy we've had.
Fair.
2, I'll probably go Jaden Reed. Had the drop. He had the drop problem last year, but clean that up. And then, we saw it week 1 against the Eagles, 2 touchdowns, like 130 yards. I mean, as long as he just fixes those drops, he'll be fine. 3, if you could stay healthy, probably Christian Watson.
Okay. I know who your 3 is.
4, honestly, I would go. It's tough because I'm not as high in Watson as many other Packer fans maybe are, maybe non-Packer fans are. I was really high in Dontavian Wicks going into last year.
Yeah, I think a lot of people were.
So he probably, hold on. I'll put Matthew Golden here at 3 then.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'll put Golden at 3. And like I said, if you asked me this a year ago, it's Wicks easy at 4.
Mm-hmm.
But after, I think he had 9 drops or 11 drops or something last year.
Good ones too.
And even balls he caught, he was juggling. So what used to be easy for me saying Wicks over Watson, I don't know if I can necessarily. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even think of the tight ends. Tucker Kraft, I mean, he's probably ahead of both Wicks and Watson. Probably.
Mike, that's my guy right
at
there.
This moment.
Tucker Kraft is.
Yeah, I wasn't even thinking of the tight ends, but yeah, Tucker Kraft's probably you probably got to put him in front of Golden right now.
Okay, that's fair.
Just because we haven't seen Golden, I as excited as I want to be. Obviously, I don't want another bust to come out of our
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, right now he's got the build of Tyreek Hill. I'm not saying he is, in any way, shape, or form that, but he's got that. He's got.
I'm super stoked. We have him. I like him. I liked him in Texas, even Houston. I mean, his tape's great.
I was just gonna say, yeah, his tape is really good. He is a solid player overall. So, yeah, for sure. That's a pretty good overall understanding of that room, in general. Do you feel the same way there, Kendall, about that room?
Yeah, pretty similar. Love Golden. Love him long term. I didn't like his prospect profile as I feel like everyone's like, oh, he must be the one. It's like his profile wasn't really to be most teams' number one, but it was a pretty good fit on Green Bay, who I don't think has an archetypal one because they have different types of wide receivers, similar to the Bears, but the Bears do have sort of a pecking order. But with our lovely boys, I just got back from Wisconsin as a Bears fan too.
Nice.
I brought all the Bears gear, never wore it. My 3-year-old son brought his tiny little Bears jersey, and I'm like, if I put him on this thing in the lake, we're going to get our catch checked every 5 seconds. All of a sudden, the ruler starts getting a little smaller. I'm like, we can't do this. So we held it. But no, I think good long term. But look, you were, I think, the first or second most run happy team in the NFL, right? Josh Jacobs just absolutely.
Oh, yeah, they were number one, actually.
Reasonable depth behind him,
number two.
Honestly. I think you guys have a talented depth behind him as well. I think you're just going to run. So there's not enough opportunity for him to just get fed a bunch of targets. There's not opportunity for anybody to get a bunch of targets if the running game is truly working. You have a quarterback that has a little bit of athleticism akin to a Mahomes or a Purdy who can kind of make something happen. I think his rushing goes up a little bit. So I definitely see Mr. Jim Coventry had that take on X, and definitely agree with him. I think it's one of those situations. The Bears and the Packers receiver rooms actually have kind of a lot of overlap in that it definitely benefits the quarterback. Each individual piece might be a little bit overloaded at one given time. But I think that's going to sort itself out. I think Dontavian is either going to hit or go away. I think Dobbs might want an opportunity elsewhere, but might function as the number one. They'll feed him targets to make his trade value go up and then possibly dish him at a later date when it makes sense. But I think I'm going to depress most of the Green Bay wide receiver room because I think they're all going to be good, not great, in a good system. And I think towards the end of the year is where we're going to see someone emerge and they will rise up the rankings next year.
Okay. I agree. I don't think we've had a receiver more than 70 targets. Since the Rodgers Adams days.
Yeah, you guys were
just going to spread it out. No one's getting peppered.
No, your team has been currently, they are second in rush rate, and last year they were 31st in pass rate. Wait, did I say that right? Sorry, second in rush rate, 31st in pass rate, and you guys were the exact opposite as the Eagles were. Like the Eagles were 32nd in pass rate and first in rush rate. So it's really funny how that all works out in general, on how they were able to be effective in certain ways. But yeah, it's incredible, how they were last year. How are you guys feeling about Marshall Floyd?
Marshawn Lloyd, you mean?
Lloyd. Yeah. Sorry.
He basically sat out all last year due to various injuries. It's kind of, for him, it's kind of wait and see for me. I haven't seen enough. I know coming out of college, he was, one of the better prospects in that draft. Just haven't seen enough.
Okay. No, that's fair enough.
I don't know how to feel.
No, he seems, I don't know if he can take the full load and carry, a full team like that. The way that Jacobs does.
He'll definitely be a nice change of pace. If Jacobs needs to,
100%
come out, take a breather. I think he's, he'll do a great job in his role. But like you said, I don't know. If Jacobs, hypothetically speaking, if Jacobs goes down, am I like, oh, we're fine with Lloyd? I'm not confident in saying that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Hopefully, I didn't just jinx myself and we get news next week that Jacobs hurts himself in the ways. But
I didn't think that Jacobs would have the type of year that he had. I mean, it was incredible to see just the general way he is, and how he was able to get those 25 some odd touches per game. It was incredible. So Wicked goes Fields going before Prescott and Goff. How do you guys feel about that?
Before Prescott, yes. Before Goff, I don't know about that. I like Fields. I'll be the first to say it. I'm pretty confident Fields.
Okay. The other interesting thing about Fields is I think about it, he's going to a situation where like the expectations are as like non-existent as they ever could. I mean, this is a team that's been on a rocky quarterback situation for longer than the Bears, which is kind of impossible.
Yeah,
in a weird way.
He came from there, so
I think Fields is actually set up to do well over in the Jets, just because no one's expecting much. I mean, look what we're doing in the fantasy community, right? We're already kind of looking at him like not a starting quarterback, although he is a starting quarterback. Like
I always forget he's a starting quarterback.
Who's got more runway? Fields or who's got Milrow backing him up? Who am I thinking of?
Darnold.
Oh,
yeah, Darnold. I couldn't think. I keep wanting to say JJ, but he's the new Darnold, right? Yeah. I mean, who's got more runway? I think Fields probably has more runway. One of them's built in, ready to go. The other one, they can't do anything for a year, right? I mean, when you look at it that way, I think you think one's safer than the other, but Fields is actually safer. He's got an amazingly over talented wide receiver. I think Garrett Wilson is being buried in rankings for no reason. He's my biggest buy low right now, along with Olave. And I think he's going to be okay.
Garrett Wilson, my second round pick over McConkey.
I mean, I think he absolutely belongs in that. When people are still taking Nico Collins over Garrett Wilson in Dynasty, that's where I get a little Nico is a great wide receiver, but from their prospect profiles, it's not close. If you met him in college, they're just not close wide receivers at all, right?
No, because they were drafted well apart from one another, and one worked out, the other didn't. And they have they're different body types and different, they definitely fit the systems that they're currently in and what they do. So it's one of those things where they're both good. They're just, one is Nico Collins is more an X than someone like Garrett Wilson, but Garrett Wilson can fit. He can fit well in any system and do very well because of his size. He's only 6. What is he? 6 foot and 6 foot 183. So he's on the smaller side comparatively to a guy like Nico, who's at 6'4" and 222. So it's really based on your system and how you're going to use him. I mean, he was peppered by Aaron Rodgers, who is notoriously good at doing that, and he continues to do it. Now he's going to a guy like Fields, who has had one of the lowest pass rates to a wide receiver for the last 2 years. He's always in the bottom 25. So it doesn't make any sense that it's hard for me to be okay with going with Garrett Wilson moving forward. I understand the value in the dip and why you should buy. It makes complete sense. He's a freaking stud with guys like Aaron Rodgers, but he did play with Justin Fields in college. So hopefully they can get their connection and all that. So we'll see how that goes. I'm excited for this season to be able to see what he can do. If you had to pick somebody that could be a starter next season, are you picking Sam Darnold or Justin Fields?
Justin Fields.
Okay. So you guys think Milrow is going to beat out Sam Darnold at one point?
At some point. But if we're just going to likelihood.
No, just at some point. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say Milrow probably takes the job. I mean, I could see it this year.
Interesting.
I'll say I see it. I think it is less than 50% chance.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if we're sitting here, it's week 12, 13, and we hear news Jalen Miller starting, I'm not going to be like, whoa.
Okay.
Just keep in
Who
mind,
hasn't
Jalen
been-
Milroe is a developmental quarterback. Now, he was much more accurate in college than Anthony Richardson was, which I think is a good thing that people are looking at. But he still was very aberrant on some short yardage throws,
Yeah.
much like Anthony Richardson. So
Yeah.
I think they're going to be inside the locker room. I think they are. Yes, Wicked, you absolutely know that is definitely
Yeah, I
happening.
already
That
knew
is
it.
absolutely
I
happening.
just went to it and I saw it. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah, I mean, I sniped the heck out of them boys, so maybe he's going to get me back here in turn. We'll have to see. Yeah. Oh man, Bashal Tootin. He's like, you ever draft a player just knowing like the guy ahead of him is getting traded? It's going to happen. It is absolutely going to happen.
well, because you're waiting for ETN to go.
I love that I get to draft one running back, through 9 rounds, knowing that I get to take Tootin, who is going to be a top 20 running back this year in all formats. It's going to be fantastic.
So here's my thing. So Jay Will goes, guys, what are we talking about? Milroe's not ready to start over standard NFL backup.
Are we saying Milroe's a standard NFL backup, or he's going over an NFL backup?
Well, the way it's worded, Milroe,
or is
not ready.
Is he
to
calling
start.
Darnold a standard backup?
Yeah, I'm just trying to. I love making fun of NFL players. I just want to know who we're hating on. That's the point here. I want to know who
It's
we're
Sam
absolutely.
Darnold. In this case, it's Milroe. He's making fun of. He's saying that Milroe isn't he's not a good enough player to be a starting quarterback and back up a guy even like Sam Darnold. I don't want to say I agree, but I
kind of agree.
I kind of agree. I'm not a big fan from the eye test. When I got to watch him in the combine, I got to watch him on tape in general. He's an athletic freak. I'm not gonna lie. The guy can run. He has the legs. He's got the wiggle. All the stuff he does with his legs is incredible. As an NFL quarterback, I just don't see it. His arm didn't impress me. His accuracy isn't, what we want. Can he throw the ball have a cannon? Yeah, of course. He had one of the higher, mile per hour rates when you were throwing the ball. But at the end of the day, I just don't see him being anything special. He to me, he's a Taysom Hill-ish type quarterback. That's just what I see from him. Could I be wrong? I'm kind of hoping I'm wrong, but I didn't see much from him that really excited me in any way, shape, or form. That's all.
Sure. That's fair.
Hey, reading the board a little bit while you're picking.
Yeah, go ahead.
Cody, look through the board a little bit. Talk to me about an interesting pick or two. Just freedom of thought. Anything really striking you as keep it to the positive picks. We don't like calling people out for hey you're
I won't call it
mine. But what do we like?
But I was hoping Jalen Warren was going to come back around to me.
You were hoping this entire section came back to you?
Yeah, I mean the whole left side of the board here is really eating my queue up here.
Yeah, I was like that too. So they're Victorious is going, you want a Giants running back, Mike? He's not lying. I did want Tracy, but I was kind of hoping he made it around the turn for me there. But there was a lot going on here where at this part of the draft at the turn, I was going between Pitts, Tracy, and I wanted Kraft to fall to me, and Kendall ruined that. But at the same time, I knew that might happen. So I grabbed the tight end before the running back, hoping the running back would come around. So,
yeah, honestly, I should have let Kraft fall to you guys. I think I felt like I'll be honest, them boys. I felt like Kraft was sniping somebody. I didn't think it was you, man, but I did think I was sniping somebody. Straight up, it's okay. I'll give the right answer to the rest of chat though. I shouldn't have taken Kraft at the 11-1. Honestly, there was better picks because again, Brenton Strange is still going to be like a 14th round my favorite pick again because he's just buried for no reason.
Yeah.
Every time I take a tight end, I look at my queue and I'm like, Mason Taylor is still there, who's I don't know, the wide receiver 2 technically. I mean, second pass catcher for the Jets at this point. And I keep thinking I find tight end value but I should wait another 5 rounds.
There's so many decent tight ends out there that are deeper in drafts that people aren't aware of, that people pretty much just overthink. I mean, if you guys ever really want to listen to a really good tight end whisperer, I mean, Andrew Cooper, just go follow him. I mean, Coop is one of the best out there. Sirius XM radio, with Fantasy Alarm, he does everything there. He's fantastic. I got to meet him at the Expo last year. Honestly, one of my favorite groups of tight ends that come up later on in this draft that are going to be there. You already mentioned them. You already mentioned Strange. I'm gonna murder Jatavian Sanders, another guy really worth getting, looking at. Theo Johnson from my Giants.
Mike, just don't say my guy. I'm hoping he comes back around.
Cole Kmet is another guy.
Honest, speaking of tight ends, if I didn't go Bowers first round, I probably still wouldn't have drafted a tight end yet.
Well, I was just gonna mention that. So what I tend to do when I do a lot of these tight end premium leagues in some scenarios, it's all based on, different things. Like last week I took, Trey McBride where I did it, but it was value. I have no problem waiting and going 0 tight end, if you will, in the context of waiting for my tight ends later on, because I know where there's a start. Like I know where I can find it. Like, with Kraft or, with Strange, like you said, there are many scenarios out there where something is going to happen. There are so many tight ends in good scenarios that people aren't thinking about. Tyler Conklin is now, part of the Chargers. We have, Mike Gesicki is over there in Cincinnati with all being out all year with the ACL tear. You have so many scenarios that can work themselves out to be something, and you can definitely get involved on it on the ground floor. And, AJ Barner for Seattle. Like all these guys are ready and available to get. Now, I'm not saying that you should get those as your tight end 1. No, grab someone viable. But those guys you can definitely wait on and grab near the end and fill your bench with those guys, and they're going to do just fine later on in life. You can even target guys like Mike Mayer, who might go somewhere else at one point. We don't know. It might happen.
A tight end I'm super high on, who probably more appealing in redraft leagues, is Evan Ingram.
Come
I wouldn't be surprised if he's a top 8 tight end this year.
He will be I can see him being higher. To be,
I'm with you. I think I put his floor at tight end 8.
Yeah, I would say the floor would be tight end 8, ceiling would be tight end.
And of course, he just went 2 picks at 3.
Yeah, no,
that's that run right there.
He went.
My whole entire queue just went right there. I was going to snag a tight end 2 because we were talking about it, and the 3 I wanted right there.
Yeah, no, honestly,
I feel so vindicated. This is the exact run.
See, this is why
in the exact order I thought.
I got to shut my mouth until I pick.
Well, but let's just be clear there, Cody. He got picked before you. He got picked before Cody said anything. I watched that.
All right. That's
so.
Fair, then.
So here, you all know, for those that have watched me long enough, I am the biggest Evan Ingram fan in this group. I've been I've been on that train for quite some time. So for me, I am all for him at that pick in any way, shape, or form.
Likes his tight ends. That's all I gotta know. That's all you gotta know.
He keep every single season he keeps talking about some guy, just the Joker. Man, he's gonna be our Joker. Yeah. He finally got an actual guy that can play the Joker, because Ingram's too small to play traditional tight end. He really can't be a tight end.
He's not.
He
a big
really
blocker.
is just an inline pass catcher.
Yeah, 100%. He has never been that guy, and that's where people that's where people had the issue with him. Even with the Giants, that's where they had their issue, was they were trying to use him more, too much into block. No, he's not that type of player. Just he's not worth doing that. He's just not built that way. So Wicked goes, is Zach Charbonnet a starter anywhere or a perfect wide receiver or running back?
This is another example of we got to not talk about people until it's my turn to pick here.
No, well, I would have taken him there. So
it's
don't
a
worry.
Streamer curse, though. I mean, you're gonna get sniped anyway. It just feels better if you talk about it beforehand, because then I think they do it on purpose
to see us get mad on camera.
Oh, some do. So for
I mean, I
me,
almost took Charbonnet over Ridley, which
I almost took
looking back,
Charbonnet
probably
over
should've,
Robinson.
but
So he's gonna go at one point.
although I'm Ridley's another guy I'm super high on this year. Less appealing in Dynasty because he is now 30, but I think I could see really top 20 this year.
He's really
I
27.
mean, he was almost top 20 last year, and he was Mason Rudolph as his quarterback.
Well, I mean, if you really think about it, he's really like 27 because he didn't have 2 years worth of playing. So
That's true.
I'll take 2 years off the tires, but the
I'll
age
bet on
does
him.
creep. But I mean, honestly, for Charbonnet, do I think that he's a starter anywhere or a perfect running back too? Honestly, he's a starter anywhere. He is Tyler Algier. Like they are the same type of player.
This is a tough pick right now, man. I'm so.
Yeah, I mean,
can I get a third pick here, guys?
No.
When Walker went down a couple of games last year, Charbonnet was a clear-cut number one.
Yeah, and he always
both fantasy and real life purposes.
He always will be. I mean, honestly, he's a very solid back, and I've always enjoyed watching him play. And they use and that's more the system too. I mean, that's what that Seattle has said from the beginning, that he is that, like, they want to run that type of system. They want to be the team that basically, has their running back touching the ball 20, 25 times a game, if not more. So, I'm all on board with, what they're looking to do there. Now I have to make my pick, and I'm not really. You know what? I'm going to reach a little bit, but it's okay. I feel okay about it. I feel good about it. I'm liking my team. How are you guys liking your team so far? I know Cody's been sniped a couple times. How are you feeling about your team there, Kendall?
I'm feeling very, very good about my team.
You like your team?
It's a weird question to answer though, in that, like, what was I trying to do today? Right? I don't really go into Friday night mocks looking to like draft an amazing team, if that makes sense. Like, I always want to draft an amazing team, no question about it. But I usually just want to find a few spots where I can find this or this versus this or this. I want to learn something from every mock that I do, or I want to sharpen up a take. Or if it's not sharpening a take, right? Because that usually requires a little bit of homework, looking through a lot of stuff. It's more of I want to get further or farther back on my conviction on a player or a range. So I figure out what I'm going to do in the spare time to then figure it out, right? Anytime it takes more than 15 seconds to know who I'm going with, I know I'm making a mistake in my process, because I can sharpen that up and feel just right now, right? I won't say it, but I was between two running backs. Sharps was chalk. I had to take him. But Braylon, there was one other player here who I was going to take.
Yeah, who was the other guy?
Well, he is not taken yet, and because
I won't tell you
when he
to
goes, I will visibly and audio. I own him. He's my he's actually my most exposed player across all 23 of my dynasty teams.
Hold on, can I take a guess at who it is?
Of course you can. Throw a guess for Cody too, and let's see if Chat can get it. I bet you Chat gets it before you guys do, for sure.
No, I already know who it is. Is it a running back?
It is a running back.
If it's a running back, I'm not going to say it because I think we might be thinking of the same guy.
Is it a rookie?
I'm taking him.
It is not a rookie.
Oh,
I'm thinking of all the rookies. I have a cat, just an absolute photographic memory. For
wait. It's not a rookie?
It's not a rookie.
I think I know who it is.
I had it, and I thought it was a rookie.
Not a rookie. I mean, I'm thinking of some rookies. I'm still thinking of Jaden Blue, who's off the board, who would have been my pick at 11-1. I think Goats and I probably traded picks, and he gone. Vike called it. Vike knows me extremely well. Yeah, it was absolutely Garendo.
So I'm not going to lie. I took Mason, forgetting I drafted McCaffrey. I should have went Garendo over Mason, looking back. But that's just me being a bad drafter tonight.
No, I screwed you up, honestly, for sure. I was asking this question of you like while you were on the clock. For sure, this is the live stream curse. We draft way better in our dark,
would have
quiet
taken
basements.
Garendo over Mason there if I remember McCaffrey was my RB1.
The funny thing is, we were talking about Charbonnet at my Wandale Robinson pick, and I should have taken Charbonnet, and I didn't. I don't get it, but it is what it is. Wicked throws a question out there. He goes, what is causing Aaron Jones' fall from grace? Mason can't be that threatening.
I'd say age, and I mean Mason's not that threatening, but I mean it's got to be a mix of both age and Jordan Mason.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
Yeah. He's not Kamara. Kamara can turn 30, 31, and I still like the 80 catches. I just don't like that the way Jones plays like Connor. He plays physical.
Yeah.
And that physicality just should not translate that long. And also, I think here's the real thing. Okay. There are certain running backs that we think, okay, he could start to hit that hardcore depreciation, but it won't be that bad. I got an extra year. With Aaron Jones in Dynasty, the real scare is the second he either gets injured, it's just over. Because by the time he gets back, it's timeshare 50-50 at best, and then it's actually over and done, which is fast. That's not depreciation. That's career over, right? Or there's, you know what? He's just not the go-to all the time. He loses a little bit of goal line. That's Aaron Jones, the Aaron Jones losing goal line. That's a big step back. If he loses anything, he's going to lose not just something, but something else and something else. And then again, it's kind of over. That mental narrative of he's got like 1 or 2 strikes and it's just over, and the coaching will love him, but it'll just be his time. That's why in Dynasty, you just can't burn a pick. At the same pick that you could draft him, you could draft someone with 2 to 3 years of, even if he doesn't hit, Marvin Mims has like eternal upside, right? Every year could be his year, and you can still flip him for something.
Story is old.
When it's done for Aaron Jones, he's toast for your team, and you will be lucky to get out for a third. And that's just brutal when you haven't played a game yet, right? So the whole thing in draft is you're always going to see vet running backs go up in value mid to third quarter of the season from where their pick value would be superimposed in a startup. Because without knowing your record in a startup, it's a suicidal pick. Because if your team is not built to win in year one, you just burnt that pick. When you could draft a player, draft to trade, which I do a lot. I draft a lot of year 0 mini rerolls where I'm looking to just be really, really far ahead in year 2 because I never went for year 1. Aaron Jones is the type of guy where by year 3 or 4 in Dynasty, if you drafted him in your startup, you're just given the field value and you don't have to. And so that's why in startups in particular, this as a format, as a draft, you don't know your team. As you're picking him, you don't know the rest of your makeup of your team. It's just a bad sort of game theory pick.
Okay. Oh, that was
I mean, we already you did a great job explaining that. But Mason's one of those guys that you get late, and if Jones goes down, then I mean, look what happened last year. McCaffrey went down, and everyone who either drafted Mason late or got him off waivers, he had a very fine RB2 flex spot there.
My bad, John. I didn't mean to call you out there, bro.
No, I saw him pick so quickly. I was like, holy crap, why did he pick so quick? And then I'm like, okay, well, it's because he probably wanted him so badly that he had his finger.
And I couldn't take Mims.
He had his finger hovering. No, I like Mims. I like Mims a lot. I can't wait to see what this Broncos offense does this year. I'm really excited.
There's another Broncos receiver I think I'm a little higher on than Mims this year. That's not Courtland Sutton or Evan Ingram.
Or Veal or Vile. Or
No, that's he's a rookie, and I don't know if we'll draft long enough for him to...
No, you probably won't get that far.
We go through 18 rounds, so we get a couple.
Maybe we'll get there.
Interesting.
But, he's a spicy.
Let's just say his head coach kind of came out and said he reminds him of another great receiver that same head coach has coached.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what? This is okay.
Yeah,
first time I think
if you know, I guess.
Draft.
He was on my board to go like right now.
Yeah, that makes sense. Ooh. This guy was so high in my pre-draft process. I watched a lot of plays.
I know.
I am very happy to take him.
Well, no, when you were talking about like which third pick you wanted, it was either Sample or Neal, because I know that you've talked about both those guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I thought
Yeah.
it was definitely one of those guys.
Yeah,
So-
Devin. I still don't know why. I need to like. Devin Neal is a guy like if I have a chance to speak to someone who really knows what the hell they're talking about, who works for the NFL one day. Out of all the players, I don't know why. I just have to know why he fell. Like I can find an answer to for everybody else. I just
or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, just buried.
Yeah.
He was my like coaches will like him. He can do it
boys.
all guy.
Damn.
I
Them
don't
boys,
know.
you bastard.
Interesting.
Yeah, dude, that's a nice.
Hey,
one,
Amon is
but-
probably one of my favorite rookies.
Okay,
this
let me
year.
let me get a
Easy.
take on this. So it's kind of spicy in the super deep streets right now, like 14 team dynasty and like really silly stuff like that. So I like Imanor a lot. Just as like Calvin Ridley's fantastic, but also like the whole organization's turning over a new leaf.
Yeah.
That I think there's something to that. Like Ridley is gonna have a nice heyday, but he'll be gone in a year, right, or so. But Restrepo is being really not talked about because Cam Ward threw him the ball in college.
Yeah.
And he got picked up real quietly in free agency. Has a connection with the quarterback. He was pretty popular in the pre-draft process. I don't scout wide receivers as much because I don't know what I'm doing. I scout running backs. That's a position that I seem to do well in. Running backs, I really trust Matt Harmon a lot.
Yeah.
I don't have a big Restrepo take, but for anyone that's closer to the Titans than I am, Restrepo versus Io Minor, are they both
I know
really nice sleepers?
I know one of our guys in the chat is a big Titans fan. Good old Rafi over there.
Are you really?
Yeah. Or he's a Colt. It's either Colts or Titans, but
We're gonna have to get some icons in Discord. We actually, I want to know like who's the guru.
Honestly,
for this team. We need that.
I've been doing this so long, I pretty much remember most people's teams, and most people put their teams as their thing, like Victorious or Alec does with Philadelphia. From what I saw, from
maybe a little reach here, but gotta get your guy.
No, get your guy.
Oh, I love that pick so much.
Ollie
so
Gordon
much.
I mean, the Raheem Mostert role is wide open.
Wait. Hold on.
And Jalen Wright is not going to take it. He's too
well.
small.
That was going to be my next question. Is you don't like Wright at all?
I like Wright, but he's not. He's too small to take that Mostert role. Goal line touches. It's going to be Ollie Gordon.
Fair enough. I don't hate it. I was curious because he's definitely the size of what you're looking for.
Thanks, Dan boys. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, that's an interesting conundrum, dude. I completely agree though. Like, who's the goal line back?
No, it's definitely.
They don't have anybody except for Ollie. Ollie's the only like physical runner on the team. I mean, I know Achan's quickly becoming the new school Kamara, but it's still valuable to have.
I mean, I think he's
Ollie
the only
there.
running back they have that's over 200 pounds.
Yeah, I was just gonna say he's the only guy that even looks.
Like Achan, I just looked as 188.
Yeah, but
which is impressive because he used to be like
Jalen Wright's
160.
so he is pretty big.
Well, and on top of that,
Jalen Wright just has no contact balance. He just I don't see him as a guy who can actually he can't take contact. He really can't.
And Vike makes a good point. You don't need to just be, physical, but
sure,
it's one of those things where, like, I'm not even gonna lie. I'm using Madden, which is the dumbest thing in the world to do, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Anytime I play Madden, be on the 2-yard line.
This is the take right here, dude.
No, it's not. Anytime I'm on the 2, what do I do?
O-lines are such a big deal, though, man. I feel like in the NFL we do this all the time.
Yeah.
Why don't we do it in college? We are ready to say this player is the greatest that's ever been, but he just had a bad O-line, man. I mean, a better O-line.
Well,
there's a reason O-linemen get paid what they do because they change
Tyron.
the futures for everybody.
Yeah, Tyron being gone is going to be huge for them.
So
you should see their numbers.
My biggest O-line argument for running backs, and maybe it's a little dated here, is DeMarco Murray when he was on the Cowboys, then going to the Eagles.
Yeah, no, that's a big
one.
It's any running back to ever get traded to the Eagles, actually.
No, that makes complete sense because back when he was a Cowboy with that line with Fredrickson and Martin and Tyron Smith, I mean, and Connor Williams. Like they had everybody. They had one of the best lines in the league at the time. Basically what the Eagles line is now, or like what the Lions line
was. Yeah,
that's what they were. And then basically he went from that to the Eagles, who had kind of one of the worst lines. Well, maybe not the worst lines, but
not what it is today.
No, it isn't
Not
what
even
it was
close.
today. They definitely worked on it and did what they needed to. But honestly, it's incredible. Line means so much. It's incredible. My brother played O-line and has followed it for years. And the one thing he's always told me, and the one thing that always seems to be true, the teams that keeps their particular line intact for more than 2 years, that are in a relatively good standing or within, they're within a, I don't know, like midway point of like where they're ranked, they can be one of the best types of lines moving forward, or the ones that you want to be a part of. And the only reason why I say that is because, one, continuity, two, the fact that if they're like the one thing with like Chicago that, I'm hoping they do well, but they just got 3 new linemen that need to now gel together. They might be really good linemen, but they got to be able to work together. That's always the hard part, is getting them to know each other and work well. The guys like, from the Cowboys, they were together for like 4 or 5 years and were able to, know everything right off the bat. Same with the Eagles now and the Lions. And, that's why they're so good. I always look at teams' lines when picking running backs. That's the one thing I will focus on consistently. One of my favorite ones to look at is the Chargers. If you look at their O-line and what they built and what they drafted and everything, that line is going to be it's going to be special. This year is going to be a special year for Hampton and for Najee. It's going to be fun. Yeah.
I am very in on that offense. Hey, we got just going to some questions.
I was going to go back to
it. Guys, occasionally we, hey man, we're just drinking and talking football, but we read everything. And sure. We want to get back to you. Kyle's got a pretty good question here, and I'm going to feel pretty strongly. Got a strong Shador take here. I definitely have one, but I'm gonna see the floor.
Go for it.
All right. So here's the simple take. He retains value because the NFL works a little differently behind closed doors, and you don't not piss off. It's not a threatening thing. It's the NFL, like any other organization, and it's a salary cap league. It's valuable to have friends and resources. And Shadur's dad is a pretty valuable resource. He has scouting reports. He knows players. He has a phone and he can use it. Right? That in and of itself makes the company a lot of money that Sanders just went to. Right? The Browns need money. You think any celebrity, star, athlete wants to go live in Cleveland? It's not a free agent destination, especially in recent memory. Do you think the team think of working for the team, okay? If you're an employee of the team, but you're not affecting football operations, aren't you looking at it like, guys, we're buried. We need Shadur's dad's help and his money and his influence. Do whatever it takes. If it's him versus another quarterback, give Shadur a 1-point Madden rating, like give him 5% less than the next guy objectively. You'd still play him because he's worth 5% more in influence and filling the seats and selling tickets. And honestly, overall, like projectable, like could he be good? So for all those reasons, the team has to give him a real shot going into next year. They have to. And if they don't, they're playing a game of let's try and get second. And I don't think that's a good game to play.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think they need to make sure that he is in one way or another good. They just put the money down for a new stadium that they're going to be building. They're going to be, so part of what you just said, Kendall, in the context of, money, that's the main reason he dropped so far. But at the end of the day, he could be the steal of the draft in the context of, if the NFL wanted to let him fall for whatever reason that might be or whatever, at the end of the day, they ended up getting a second round talent in the first, in the 5th round. That's amazing. Good for them. It's really now, does he hold the value on the team? I think he can. I think he's one of those guys that falls that, people are like, oh, he fell in the NFL draft. Let's let him fall. I mean, he pretty much falls here. I mean, where did he go? He went in the 11th round of these, while guys like Geno, Dart, where did Ward go? Ward went in the 6th. So, I mean, he pretty much fell in a super flex league for that. I mean, realistically, I think he can hold his value into next year.
Yeah,
I think he holds his value by the Browns cutting him and some other team finding him. Only because my reason is, maybe it has happened, but I can't think of a time where a team drafts 2 quarterbacks in the same draft.
Yeah.
And the second quarterback they take,
that's a good point. Yeah.
The starter.
Yeah.
So therefore, just based on draft capital alone, they're probably going to give the nod to Gabriel. Unless Sanders completely blows him away in OTAs in the preseason, then sure, you can make the argument. But if it's like neck and neck, and even if Sanders is just like a little better, I mean, I think it's Gabriel's job to lose. Granted, if he's the starter, I mean, they can easily just go, here, Joe, here, Kenny.
Yeah, Rasta shouting you out.
We don't get it. We don't get the Godfather in here every day. What's happening, bro?
Hey, Rasta, I gotta put it on. I gotta put it on for the brand, man.
Rasta, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders. Real interesting.
Kendall, that Rashard Smith pick. I like that pick a lot.
Nice,
Rashard Smith.
This is absolutely my. I don't pick because I like them. I pick because everyone else is going to get hot and bothered by a Kansas City Chiefs running back at some point in time.
Always.
And I will trade him before I even consider starting him. For sure.
I mean, he's, even if he just gets the, oh shit, I'm on the clock here.
Now you are.
No, I got down to 2 seconds and I hit Q instead of pick, and I almost autoed.
So Flint is KJ saying Flacco is expected to start.
I think
Sanders
Flacco I think Flacco moves before the first snap gets taken. I think Flacco's like, dude, you guys are a mess. It's the Browns. Weird things are happening. You got 500 quarterbacks, dude. I'm drunk right now. All right. I don't need this. Like Flacco, he just has other things to do with his days, and I don't think he's going to be there. I think he'll probably have a chat with the team and be like, dude, what are we doing? Like, either get rid of some other guys or get rid of me.
I mean, honestly, if you had to look at everybody right now on that roster for that quarterback room with Flacco, Pickett, and with Sanders and Dillon, what are you like? Who do you think has the most upside for all of those?
Shedeur.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be
for the team. I'm talking about just the team.
Yeah, Shedeur.
Just there to win the game. Who is winning? Like,
Shedeur was raised by an elite NFL.
I don't care about
athlete.
the raising by.
Yeah, but historical comps say he's probably going to be better than like some random dude who couldn't make it into the top 3 rounds of the NFL draft. Like the guys he was up against, their NFL comps are they will never start ever. Straight up. That's their comp, right? Like the Dylan Gabriels of the NFL draft never start ever, right? And if they do, like, you don't draft them, right? Shedeur at least has a path because he has a path. I'm not drafting Shedeur because I think he's awesome. Just like I took Tua in this draft, not because I think he's awesome, but I do think he's going to be a starting quarterback, and I fade injuries because the NFL's injury prone, not a particular player. Although if there was one, it's Tua. I'm not doing this. Is not a pro. The whole point is you can have non-pro Shedeur takes, but have a look. I've seen enough NFL to kind of know that he's just not going to be out of the league in a year. It's just not going to happen.
No. So the value talk, no, he will be fine. His value is going to be there.
You guys have a point with the trade, though. I think that would be the coolest. I mean, can you imagine like what we'd be talking about right now? I would love Flacco Sleeper to have a breaking alert, like trade rumors of Shedeur. That would just be exciting. I hope it happens for us, for everyone to be involved. Like it was fun drama. It was like, it wasn't your team. I don't think there's a billion Browns fans out there. And if you are, you've been dealing with a lot of stuff. You've been your own joke for a while. I'm living in that situation myself as a Bears fan. It's cool.
No,
but
you're a little better off than the Browns fans on at this point.
It doesn't feel that way, Mike. It doesn't feel that way yet.
I feel like there's a lot of teams out there much better off than the Browns. I don't know.
What's it like being a Packers fan? Like living wise, does your doctor just know like mental health wise you're fine? You're gonna be fine. Like my doctor has to ask about these things, you know?
It's yeah, I mean, sure, but at the same time, it's like
because we got a Giants fan over here who's been missing the glory days. I'm doing the same.
First round playoffs every year. The past, well, not 2 years ago, we had a nice little run there, but the past how many years now? It's been one and done, which is almost as worse as just not making the playoffs.
Hey man, I've been living in hell since 2011.
Trade Pickett back to the Steelers.
Yeah, we got the whole NFC.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man.
You want to know something really funny? You want to know something really funny?
Is that a Vikings fan telling me that right now?
Yes.
Well, here, this
Wait,
is
let me
kind
get
of
my
funny.
calendar out. When was the last Vikings one?
See, here's the funny thing. This particular chat is quite interesting. We have pretty much all NFC North
We
people
really
in
do,
it.
man.
We have Kendall, who is our Bears fan. We have Magoats as our Packers fan. We have Victorious, of course, a Vikings fan. And KJ Flynn or Kyle Flint is the good old Bears fan. So we have a little bit of everybody in there. We also have John as well, who is a big Lions fan. So we got
whole division here.
We got the whole division just sitting here and just having a,
Hey,
we will. Don't you worry there.
Oh wait, actually, this kind of. I don't know if I should be leaking this right now, but
go ahead.
I like, as football fans, we like to gamble, every now and then. So what I like to do each year, and I did it really early this year, I like to put a little parlay down on division winners.
Okay.
And, Kendall, you would be very pleased, and all the Packer fans out there, please don't dismiss me here. I picked Chicago to win the NFC North.
Well, that's smart.
Goats, we are gonna have. We just created a whole separate
even
show,
over the Lions.
Let's do a whole show where I talk about positive takes in the Packers because it's all I've lived with for a while.
Takes about the Bears.
Yeah, we'll call it.
You and me are gonna single-handedly, well, not single-handedly, double-handedly.
Different John.
There's rivalry here.
I like
that's crazy. You think you're going to take the Lions? You think the Bears are taking the Lions?
I think.
Well, the Lions only started winning because of Ben Johnson, and now we have him.
You
might be able to bite meat
by the associative product.
Very sneaky dark horse team this year.
Okay.
I also think if Ben Johnson decided to go be a hippie and leave next year, if Caleb finished as a top 3 quarterback this year and Ben Johnson left, I wouldn't even draft him next year. He would Justin Fields or worse so fast. I'm my entire Bears take this year is I trust Ben Johnson because the NFL is made up. It's a team sport with so many players.
You have no
and there's
choice.
So many players on the roster. Coaching is just very impactful.
No, you have no choice but to trust in Ben Johnson because you guys went out there and grabbed him and needed him.
The betting odds are starting to creep that way a little bit. Yeah. Vegas is starting to say hey man, Ben Johnson.
Oh no, Ben Johnson is a great coordinator. That's where the fun is going to be.
Classic, who are you taking here, man?
I don't know because it's my last pick and I'm all
crazy.
I don't know who to pick.
Chet, who am I picking here? By the way, it's going to be spicy.
This is a bad pick.
The entire chat knows me, so the entire chat might have me figured out. I wonder who they think I'm going to go with. I want to see if chat's never not guessed a pick for me. I think the chat could do my draft easily, and honestly, pretty easily. They crowdsourced it.
I think I know who you're going to go, but I'm not going to say anything.
I already know who it is.
I'll wait till this pick goes, then I'll
I already know who it is. I don't even have to.
I'm between 3. I've been queued up.
I know exactly who it is.
I'm honestly not fully decided, but I know who I'm deciding from. Dylan Gabriel's not in there, but as a meme, he's close. He's real close.
I know who it is. You already talked about him.
Is
It
it
won't change.
Restrepo?
Yeah,
It's not
Restrepo.
Restrepo. It's always going to be a running back or a quarterback here. But
All right, is it-
Oh, you know who I should have done?
Is it
I didn't
S
get a
team
chance
or
to do
S
it.
time, however you say it?
It's not going to be Estimate. Despite I'm a
man.
Notre Dame guy.
0 for 2.
It's because I'm a Notre Dame guy that I would never touch Estimate. Unfortunately, I didn't touch him anywhere because I've talked.
Is
to
it
people.
Quinn Ewers?
Nope, not quarterback. We're going running back.
0 for 3. All right.
Oh, who's the guy that went to the
Taj Brooks.
It's either Brooks, Shipley, or should we get spicy with it? Should we get crazy?
You do,
No,
you,
it's a worse pick if I go with him. Savion Williams is absolutely.
Oh, I'm so mad at myself. You want to know something?
Savion is way up there. It's Keaton, Savion, or Taj, and the answer is neither. We're going Will Shipley.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at that. He had you right before you even said it. Look at that.
So is the because I've been seeing Shipley kind of like, I wouldn't say flying up draft boards, but obviously last year no one was drafting him. This year I'm seeing him being drafted. Is that just because Gainwell's out of town now?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
He's basically the strong
missed
handcuff.
something. Or if it was just because Gainwell's gone.
Well, no,
I think he's possibly like he belongs in the conversation of possibly the best handcuff. Like he is neck and neck with Charbonnet in terms of handcuff.
Yeah.
If Walker goes down and
Alger.
Saquon goes down in the same week, who are you starting as your RB2? Shipley or Charbonnet?
Charbonnet.
No. The answer is you're checking the matchups.
Well,
you won't blank start one of them over. You'll absolutely check the matchup.
I would blindly start Charbonnet over. It doesn't matter who.
I mean, I think I side with Mike on this just because we've seen Charbonnet in that scenario.
Now, Charbonnet is a better prospect for sure.
No,
Charbonnet is a very, very good prospect.
Better. No.
But
better.
I'll take the Eagles O-line in that run game any day.
I'll take them giving him so much volume that it wouldn't matter.
So Will Shipley is one of my least favorite players in the league because during the Super Bowl at halftime, I bet him as an anytime touchdown scorer. And then he broke off that 50 or 40 yard run. And I thought, I'm cashing this. And then he got tackled at the 5.
Oh, no.
And I was like,
no.
It was I think I bet $10. It would have won $200 or something. It was insane.
Dude, I liked him in the draft process. I liked him a lot. One of my buddies who played, he's a
Clemson guy, right? Is that
Yep. He was Clemson guy, and he was a really nasty pass catcher. One of my buddies said, look, if he catches the right break, I mean, he's the right type of guy that I like. He's a real football player, not like me. He got a couple injuries, banged up and whatnot, but he was close to the game in a way where he's dude, this guy is nasty, and he watches every snap of every game. He doesn't know he's good at fantasy, but not in the same degenerate level that I live in. But I ask, he's my if I ever think, hey, this guy is great, but from a small school, he's my go-to guy who watches every snap of every game. And again, he just knows he was way in on Shipley, and he's just not been wrong. And I'm kind of in on Shipley as I honestly think he'll start mixing in. Yeah, I really think they will.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean he'll get the
in you're making the playoffs like Saquon. Are you going to go for the record from day one, or do you want to win some rings and relax? I think you should take a few games off Saquon. Just relax a bit, man.
Hopefully. So let's take a minute. Other than of course our teams, why don't you guys take an extra second to look at the board? I'll do a couple, quick little housekeeping stuff. But make sure you guys check it out. Make sure if you haven't already, use, promo code GetRight when you guys are using, our good friends over at Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you guys are doing that. If you haven't already, make sure you guys are also checking out other guys like, of course, our guy Cody McGoats here at the Sweet Life Podcast. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are subscribing to his channel as well. And also our good buddy Kendall right here having his own podcast. Make sure you guys check out the Fantasy Football Tavern. Make sure you guys are liking and subscribing to those channels as well. And of course, our buddy Phil at the Extra Point. Hopefully should be back next week. We'll see. He's enjoying himself at the moment, which is, I don't blame him.
You can catch all of us in the brand new Discord.
Oh, yes. Well. And that is currently in the description below if you want to join us. If you've been listening and enjoying what we have to say and liking what everyone's saying in the chat, and this is the group that's there. So make sure you guys check out our Discord that is in there now. It is live and active, and we've been running with it for at least the last week and getting more people involved. That is the place where we will be. You can find Kendall there, myself. You're going to be able to have Phil in there at one point when he's back from his vacation. Frank should be in there at one point. So everybody will be in there. Cody's in there right now. So make sure you guys, throw your hat in there if you haven't already. It's a great community, and we just want to build it and make it bigger, and because we have some of the best people around. We want to keep that going.
You're right. Now, any of your dynasty trade questions, I was on vacation up in Wisconsin, but ask anyone that was in there. There was not a single trade question that didn't get answered with multiple paragraphs, longer than any pro has ever done a take at this. So until we're a massive community, and even then it's not going to matter. We were always going to be community focused first. So if you guys have any sort of trade ideas, questions, or roster building, Mike's got the different channels in there, and I'm going to dedicated at least 2 hours a day. I'm going to be in there. I can't always come up with the best questions of the day, but if you guys have stuff going in your leagues, if you put something in there, I'm going to give it my best take I can get. And then you're probably going to get the overlaid with, other colorful takes from Mike and Phil, especially in Dynasty. So you can kind of pick who you kind of jive with the best in terms of the take philosophy. But it's a great place, but we're definitely relying on you guys to put your questions in there, but we'll meet you halfway. We're going to answer every single one of them in a lot of depth. It's basically our group chat. That's how we're going to approach the whole thing. Exactly. We thank you guys for getting there pretty quick. It's a fun feeling. I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So we got at least Victorious. He's already given his, and that's JWN, good old John, saying he likes his draft so far. And for those that need to see his particular team, that's right here with Jefferson, Mahomes, Garrett Wilson, Henderson as his, picked as his RB1, JJ McCarthy, Worthy with Montgomery, Waddle, Pollard, Pacheco, Beck, who I like a lot, Njoku, Garendo, Ferguson, and Pat Bryant, Marshall Lloyd, and Roman Wilson, who we'll see. Thornton as well. Really good, solid team overall. I like the build, especially for zero tight end in this case. So, yeah.
I mean, going zero tight end, but still getting Njoku and what round's that? I mean, 12.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah. Ferguson at 14-5. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
easy. That's my favorite draft.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I almost took Wilson with my second round pick, and for him to get him, 3, what spot's he in? It's too small for me to look at my phone.
Which one?
At 3.8, Garrett Wilson.
I
almost took him at 2.7, and you got him at 3.8.
I got him at 3.8.
Yeah, I mean,
Hendy is a late third round consideration too, man. He had not only the values fall to John, but I like half of his picks are my guys.
The only thing I can say about his team, the only knock I'd say is the no QB3.
No, I don't even care about that.
He's gonna give me a lot of love in chat and the comments, and I'm gonna sell him one cheap. And
no, it's one of those things where whenever I do these startups, I don't look at that because to me it doesn't really matter because it's a mock. Two, sure. In a real one, you're going to be grabbing one maybe a little earlier. Two, there wasn't really much available, but if anything, I'm going to grab them much later at that point. And it's super flex. You don't need to always use a quarterback.
He had a little bit of room. The Pollard Pacheco back run. I definitely think if you sub any of those three out,
if you went Dart there,
I do think it probably saves some value bleed because he doesn't buy one.
Yeah,
I like Pollard a lot. I like Pacheco's okay.
I would have went.
Add Dart. Or
I was going to say
Stafford, Darnold, or Shador. Honestly, Dart, Stafford, or Darnold to one of those three picks.
I think Dart would have made
that's unbreakable.
Yeah, I think that would be my only critique is Dart and at Pollard, just because it rounds out the team a little bit more.
Yes.
and it just makes it a little bit more where, Mahomes, yes, he's still who he is and whatever. You at least now have 2 solid QBs to get you the next 3 years. So I do.
Yeah, I mean, I think quarterbacks in Kevin O'Connell's system average like
that too
19 fantasy points a week or something, or for the season or something. I mean, McCarthy has to. I think Nick Mullins averaged like 20.2 fantasy points in Kevin O'Connell's system. So McCarthy's bar is Nick Mullins, essentially.
Fair enough.
Like, just play as good as Nick Mullins.
My favorite team here, and it's not because he's a Giants fan. I really like what Duarte did overall. He was able to get guys like, St. Brown and Barkley here on the turn with Taylor on the way back. I do like Rashid Rice here as his wide receiver too. Mayfield is a solid pick. I would have probably maybe went Penix there, but I do like Mayfield. Even at this point, Goff, and RJ Harvey as your running back 3 is pretty solid.
I like RJ Harvey.
And it's like, I understand it, and it's because it is probably the older team. I honestly like the little bit, like, honestly, it's a good mix of young and old that it's good enough to do well. Going with Evans here, going with Coleman here, the Kelsey pick is whatever. I don't care about that pick. It's good value at 10. I'm okay with it. He probably will grab another, he would grab another tight end a little bit later on. But overall, with McMillan, Bateman, Dottle, Shaheed, I think, can do well. Overall, I just like the build, and I think that it's, a win now team for sure, and definitely has some promise, for the next year or two.
Yeah, I like the Horton pick too. That last pick.
Yeah, I like that last pick.
Lot.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just a solid team overall. I just like the build and how it kind of worked itself out to be the way it did. He has a good mix of new and old, but yeah, I'm pretty I'm pretty classic, if you will.
Another team, I guess, if I could throw 2 cents, I think,
Sure.
I know he's still in the chat here. I think Dem Boys. I like Dem Boys' team here a little bit. Clearly with the no RB build here, but I think still got some pretty decent running backs.
Yeah.
Robinson, probably he's still your RB1 of Washington, and their offensive line got better. It's probably the best offensive line he'll run behind in his career. ETN, we'll wait and see what happens there. I like Jalen Warren. I think Tajee Spears, will probably see a little more of him this year than we did last year. Dobbs in 16 is probably great value. And I'm just big on Aomanor. Like, I think Aomanor is one of my favorite rookies this year. So,
okay. Nice.
Yeah, I like that build there. And obviously Josh Allen, Brock Purdy.
So, Chad, if you guys are listening, I want you guys to take a quick look at our 3 teams.
Obviously my team's the best one.
And just take a quick look at it. I know right now so we got Kendall's team, who went with Jaden Daniels, Caleb Williams, Bucky Irving. Wow, why am I thinking Bruce?
What year are you, Nick?
Well, that's how old I am. Ted McMillan with Romeo Odunze. We got Loveland, Bryce Young, Tua Tagovailoa, Downs, Tutton, of course, Tucker Kraft. We got Charbonnet, Braylon Allen, Leggett, good old Sampson, Smith, Milton, and Shipley. And then we got my team over here with Burrow, London, Herbert. We got Kyron Williams, Devontae Smith. We got Ken Walker, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Trey Harris, Kyle Pitts, Najee Harris, Wan'Dale Robinson, Javonte Sanders, some Russell Wilson in there, some Stevenson, Hollywood Brown, Gesicki, and I don't know why I went with Quinston Johnston, but it is what it is. Then we got my goats going Bowers in the first
you.
round. Huh?
I was just saying, them boys, I got you.
Oh, there he is. Then we got Bowers, Lad McConkey, Bo Nix, Jordan Love, Christian McCaffrey, Matt Golden, my bad. Joe Mixon, Tyreek Hill, Cortland Sutton, Anthony Richardson, good old Blue, my boy Blue, Calvin Ridley, Jordan Mason, Devin Neal, Ollie Gordon, who we were talking about before, Jonnu Smith, who we'll find out if he's still in Miami next week, Dallas Goedert, and Will Howard. So what do you guys think in the chat? Let us know who your favorite team is. I want to know. I'm curious. If if you're not listening at the current moment, let us know in the chat, in the comments. That would be cool too. Kind of curious to see how you guys, think about our team. So make sure you guys do that. If anything, make sure you guys throw it in the Discord too. I'll throw a channel in there for, what teams you guys like and all that. I'll do that in a little bit. But otherwise, this was fun, guys. I had a blast.
Time.
I'm excited. I'm glad that we were able to get this going. Glad to have Cody here tonight. So we really do appreciate you coming in. Why don't you take a couple seconds if you guys have anything to add for your pod and keep it moving.
Mm-hmm. I'll give it to Cody. I haven't even put out.
No, that's what I mean.
In a long time, man.
Talk about your stuff and what you guys.
Yeah, as touched on. Oh, full screen here. Part of the Sweet Life of Jack and Cody is our show. During the season, you'll catch us Saturday mornings on live streams. During the week, we usually will record on Tuesdays. Videos come out Wednesdays, Thursdays. Like Kendall said, we really haven't put anything out recently. I think our last episodes were our final mock drafts for the NFL draft that just came out. But yeah, I just appreciate if you guys want to come on board, follow. If you aren't already, the Get Right Guys, go follow Kendall over at his FF Tavern. And obviously, we love if you guys give us a follow.
Love it, man. Love to hear and love to see what you guys are doing and continuing that. I love this. This makes me feel all warm and cuddly inside.
I love that he has to say hates to say it though.
Well, he hates to do it because one, he's a Cowboy, but two, it's because he likes my team. So Dem Boy saying, I really hate to say it, but my favorite team between the three of you is Classics. Thanks, man.
That's the last time we let Herbert fall to him.
Dem Boys, I just vouched for you, man. You couldn't make me look good this one time. Oh, actually, now I'm thinking about it. I think our last video that we put out, we tier listed SpongeBob characters as
nice.
One on our football team. So nice little fun episode we did.
Nice. That's
you guys want one for the road here. I'm gonna save this for you're gonna have to get in Discord of voice chat for me to get into this later on. We'll get up in there. But while drinking on a boat, going over some stuff, people were like, "All right, so you need to go on the show and do NFL players or vice versa. All the fish in Lake Chetek as NFL players." So I got a crappie take, I got a bluegill take, I got a northern take, we got a perch take.
No idea what any of these.
Fish are. Yeah, I had to somehow find I had to give fish in the lake that I was ripping out characteristics akin to an NFL player, and this was aided heavily by drinking up to a point. But if you want to know NFL fishes or Lake Chetek fish as NFL players,
I forgive you, Dem Boys. It's all right. I see Victoria's put in the Sandy Cheeks wasn't 101. It wasn't a draft. We tier list them, but I think Sandy Cheeks, if I remember, was either A or S tier. She was up there.
Okay. All right. Nice. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to wrap this up. I am exhausted, and I know Kendall's exhausted. So I really do appreciate everyone here. Make sure, like I said before, make sure you guys throw those, who your favorite team is in the comments. And if you guys want to in the Discord, like I said, Discord, the invite is in the description. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Make sure you guys are also, like I said, checking out Cody at the Sweet Life Podcast. And make sure you guys are checking out Kendall as well. I don't have his up, but it's okay.
Well,
Check
we're,
out all
we're
the
coming
others.
back to the tavern at some point. Really focused on Get right now. Doing
Yeah.
some really fun things. Hopefully you guys are seeing them, enjoying them. The Discord's awesome.
Yeah.
There's other things to be announced at some point. Whenever
we're gonna be having a lot of other stuff coming down the pipe soon, but make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you guys are in the Discord though, because we will be announcing a lot of those things either on the show or in the Discord, or telling you guys, be ready, for those types of shows. So make sure you guys get into that Discord. That is going to be our fun community. Those are in the sleeper chat or the sleeper channel. Make sure you guys jump over to the Discord. It's a fun, it's the same people. Nothing's changed. It's just a different place. So we just want to, build a community in a different format, just to make it a little bit easier for everybody as a whole.
So I hope Scottfish shout out to throw it in for the day. I know you're going to be there. I know Scott would appreciate it.
Oh, Scottfish. Yeah. Don't forget that. Make sure you guys are checking out Scottfish. If you guys haven't already, Fantasy Cares as well. Make sure you guys are keeping an eye out. Next week, we should be getting the settings for Scottfish Bowl tournament for Scottfish 15. I know I'll be at NYC Live. We have Kendall going to Chicago Live.
We're bringing 3 Get Right members to Chicago Live with me. We're
That's
bringing a 4-pack to Chicago Live, baby.
Damn. I have to go out to some live shit.
You should. There's tons in
Scranton,
Minnesota.
Live.
If there's anyone in the Chicago area, like, we got a thing here. You want to go?
I'm in Pennsylvania.
You're close, right?
Like Scranton, PA, like the office.
No, dude, they have people. They have a pit. They definitely have a Pittsburgh one. I think they have a Pittsburgh and a Philadelphia one, if I'm not mistaken. So you're close to one of those two.
Around now, yeah.
So I mean, you can definitely keep an eye out for those. They always are looking for people. And
there's the non-drafter tickets. I think are underrated.
Oh,
like, I know for Chicago Live, 4 hours open bar. So I think it's $100 ticket. Like,
it's
I was asking, if anyone wants to
like
go with me.
Well, I'm saying it's not
said
like
in the email. It's
no. Let's be clear. For Chicago Live, there will be an open bar for 4 hours. That will be it's not the same for every single draft. There are different.
Yes, not the same for every location.
That's why I was trying to say
come to Chicago, because damn.
Yeah, I didn't want people going somewhere else, and they're like, we have to pay. No,
no offense,
it's different everywhere
Arkansas or whatever, but we're doing it real in the Shy.
No, it's fun. All these things are great. I've been doing it for the last 4 years. If you haven't already, definitely check it out. Definitely make sure you're signed up for Scottfish. Go to scottfishbowl.com. Make sure you guys are set up with your accounts, because otherwise you're not going to be able to get in. Fantasy Cares does their races pretty much almost every day. Right now at this time of year, Ross and the crew does a lot of races to get you in. That's how originally I got in the first place. I got in and won a race, and then I just kept on staying every year and just wanted to be a part of it. As long as you are, and also make sure you guys are donating to Fantasy Cares as well. They do great things with Toys for Tots and a few other groups as well. They have great stuff out right now. They have all their merchandise. Go to the merch
glasses
store
and the shirts. I think
I just bought the glasses. I'll have it hopefully soon. And, they just came out with a glass promotion, I think until June 6th. If memory serves.
I might buy some extra glasses. And
I already did.
Once we have some like super chat money, we're going to give it all away. Probably.
Yeah, at one point.
Yeah, it's
definitely at one point. I'm going to work on getting a spot for Scottfish as well. I'll talk to a couple people. But yeah.
If you guys don't know about Scottfish, Mike didn't introduce me to it, but he introduced me to like actually being a part of it in a way that I didn't think a layman could.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, the 3 guys that are coming to Scottfish live to draft live in Chicago have never done a Scottfish draft, I don't think, of all kinds, and definitely never thought it was possible to do the draft.
Yeah.
They thought it was legitimately a 0% outcome. And just by like deciding to engage in a 12-team community post, that was all it took. I got them in. So the point is, the fantasy community is doing really cool things last year and this year, where like our sport's kind of getting big, which is super, super cool that other people are into it too. And this is one of the premier tournaments that has made fantasy football kind of get relevant in a big way, like globally. And it's just really cool. I love that our sport's getting big. As it gets big, it gets subsidies. Things happen. You can see more fantasy stuff everywhere. So that's why I really appreciate it. I appreciate Mike for bringing me close to it. So if you're unsure of what it is, I'm telling you, it is actually worth looking at. Like, take 5 minutes, look it up. You don't have to sign up or anything, but just maybe you just go on X and start following the people. It's a fun conversation to follow, and it's a draft format. If you like doing the get in the streets and doing some degenerate mocks, it's an unsolved format that comes up and does it really fast. So I'm going to try to break the crap out of it and destroy everybody. So come along with us as we just try to just take over the format.
Well, and on top of that, it's, format changes every year. So it's never the same. You're never going to get the same old boring stuff that one league that you might be a part of. They are doing live drafts all over the world. They have drafts all over the place. I forgot the farthest one off the top of my head. I know they're doing a bunch in England. There's a few in South America. There's a few in I forgot.
That's my goal next year. If I could go to England and do a get right from live stream from a pub or something.
They send pictures all the time. It looks like a blast. My NYC one this year, we're going to be having Mike Fabiano will be there. Scott Fish will be at ours as well. We're also going to be having James Roday. For those that don't know who he is from Psych. He is one of the main characters from the show Psych. I don't remember a lot of his other stuff. I know that he's been on. He was on Beer Fest at one point. I think he's the messenger, if memory serves me right.
We're not drafting celebrities. Forgive us.
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, James. I'm sorry. But either way, it's always a fun time. The one in LA is always great. They always have it at Trophy Smack, and have a bunch of guys that show up to that, and it's always a blast. So make sure you guys check them out. It's just a fun experience, even if you're not drafting. They have a lot of raffles that they do. Like Kendall said, in some places it's open bar, some places it's discounted drinks, and it's just a really good time. This year for NYC, it's going to be at Legends on 33rd, 33rd Street, and I think it's like 6th and 5th or something like that. It's in the city. If you're from Long Island, take LIRR into the Penn and then just walk from Penn. It's not that bad. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your night. We are going to wrap this up. We will
1
see
a.m.
everybody.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I know. Jeez.
Yeah.
We will see everybody next week, and we will probably most likely be doing a Scott Fishbowl mock, just because the settings hopefully should be out before we do our podcast. But otherwise, I hope everyone has
going to be a nervous wreck in a good way. Let's go. I want to win this tournament so damn bad, people. I cannot express to you how much I want to win this. Let's go.
For sure. So Cody, thanks so much again. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And Kendall, thank you as always. We will see you guys next week. Peace.
Play some music.
Fantasy is the play. Marking nothing, but I tune every Friday. Strategies provided.